You're getting stronger.
Maybe it's because of you.
The woman I couldn't stop thinking about wasn't my wife. And the worst part? She wasn't single either. For months, I told myself nothing was happening. No touching, no kissing, no cheating. Just workouts, just conversations. Just two people who enjoyed spending time together. But deep down, I knew the truth. Every time I saw her smile, I forgot why I was trying so hard to stay away. And every time she looked at me, I had the feeling she was fighting the exact same battle. My name is Ryan, and fitness had always been a huge part of my life. I trained almost every day, worked as a personal trainer, and spent most of my time helping people become healthier and stronger. My wife Sarah was the complete opposite. When we first met, that difference didn't seem important, but over the years it became impossible to ignore. I loved being active. She loved staying home. I wanted morning runs, hikes, and gym sessions. She preferred movies, snacks, and long weekends on the couch. At first we laughed about it. Then we argued about it. And eventually we stopped talking about it altogether. The distance between us didn't happen overnight. It grew slowly, conversation by conversation, disappointment by disappointment. One evening, after another argument about my time at the gym, Sarah looked at me and said, "Why can't you just stay home for once?" I wanted to answer. I wanted to explain how trapped I felt, but instead I stayed quiet, because deep down I knew she wouldn't understand. A few weeks later, Emma walked into my gym. She wasn't there to impress anyone. She wasn't looking for attention. She simply wanted help, and from the moment we met, talking to her felt effortless. At first, she was just another client. At least that's what I kept telling myself. Over the next few weeks, Emma became one of my regular clients. At first, our conversations were only about fitness, nutrition, workouts, goals, the usual things. But little by little, we started talking about everything else. Family, marriage, dreams, the things people don't normally tell strangers. One evening after a workout, we sat near the entrance of the gym talking for almost 40 minutes. Neither of us seemed to notice how much time had passed. I learned she was married. She learned I was too. I learned her husband worked long hours. She learned my wife hated the gym. The strange thing was how easy everything felt. There were no awkward silences, no pretending, no pressure. For the first time in years, I felt understood. And that feeling was becoming addictive. At home, Sarah started noticing I was spending more time at the gym. "Another late session?" she asked one night. "Just work," I replied. Technically it wasn't a lie, but it wasn't the whole truth either. The truth was that every morning I checked my schedule hoping Emma's name would be on it, and every time it was, my day instantly got better. The more time Emma and I spent together, the harder it became to ignore what was happening. Not because either of us said anything, because neither of us did. It was the little things. The way she smiled when she saw me. The way I looked for her the moment she walked into the gym. The way conversations that should have lasted 5 minutes somehow lasted an hour. One evening after everyone else had left, we stayed behind talking near the squat racks. The gym was almost empty. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then Emma quietly said, "Do you ever wonder how different life would be if we had met earlier?" My heart nearly stopped, because I had wondered the exact same thing. Every single day, I looked away. I try not to think about things like that. Emma smiled sadly. Me too. For the first time, neither of us was talking about workouts anymore. We both knew it, and that scared me, because the line between friendship and something more was becoming harder to see. The worst part? I wasn't sure I wanted to find it anymore. Everything changed the night we finally stopped pretending. The gym had already closed. Most of the lights were off. Only a few remained above the training area. Emma was sitting on a bench, staring at the floor. I sat beside her. For a while, neither of us said anything. We didn't need to. The silence between us said enough. Finally, Emma looked at me. Her eyes were full of emotion. "Ryan," the way she said my name made my chest tighten. "I don't think I can keep pretending anymore." I knew exactly what she meant, because I felt the same way. Every workout, every conversation, every smile, every goodbye. It had all become too much. I looked away for a moment, then I quietly admitted the truth. "I think about you all the time." Emma closed her eyes. A tear rolled down her cheek. "So do I." For a second, the entire world seemed to disappear. No gym, no responsibilities, no spouses waiting at home. Just us. And that was exactly the problem. Because reality always comes back. Sarah had already started asking questions. Why was I spending so much time at work? Why was I smiling at my phone? Why did I seem so distracted lately? At the same time, Emma's husband had started noticing changes too. The late workouts, the constant gym stories, the way her face lit up whenever my name came up. We kept telling ourselves we hadn't done anything wrong. And technically maybe we hadn't, but emotionally, we both knew we were standing dangerously close to a line neither of us wanted to cross. One evening, Emma looked at me and whispered, if we had met before, she couldn't finish the sentence. She didn't have to, because I already knew how it ended. We both wanted the same thing, and neither of us could have it. That was the cruelest part, not losing each other, knowing what could have been. A week later, Emma and I made a decision. Not because we stopped caring, not because the feelings disappeared, because they didn't. If anything, they had become stronger. But some feelings come with a price, and neither of us was willing to destroy two families to find out where those feelings could lead. The last time we trained together felt different. Every word mattered. Every second mattered, because we both knew it was ending. When the session was over, Emma smiled sadly. I wish things were different. I nodded. So do I. Then she walked away, and for the first time in months, I didn't follow her. A few days later, Sarah sat beside me on the couch. She looked nervous, almost uncomfortable. Then she said something I never expected. If I promise to start going to the gym, I looked at her. Will you promise to stop training other women? For a moment I couldn't speak, because deep down, I knew exactly what she was asking. She wasn't talking about clients. She was talking about Emma, and maybe for the first time in years, she was finally trying. I smiled and nodded. The following Monday, Sarah walked into the gym with me. She hated every second of that first workout, but she stayed. Then she came back the next day. And the day after that, things weren't magically perfect. But for the first time in a very long time, we were moving in the same direction. Sometimes I still think about Emma. Sometimes I wonder what our life could have looked like. But some stories aren't meant to become reality. Some people enter your life to teach you something, and then they leave. Emma taught me what I had been missing. Sarah reminded me why I stayed. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join Dark Whispers for more emotional stories, impossible choices, and unforgettable moments. And tell me honestly, would you have made the same choice? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means more than you know and helps me continue bringing these stories to life. Thank you for being part of Dark Whispers. And before you leave, would you have made the same choice? Let me know in the comments below.